In this video, we're going to discuss how to use technology to make team-based norms more efficient in the classroom. In many cases, students benefit from a collective approach to classroom management. Once a norm is set in the classroom, it is helpful for students to be able to encourage one another in a collaborative setting and thus be rewarded as a team. To track the students' progress and to monitor team successes, it can be useful to use badges, and it can also be useful to use a leaderboard of sorts that is embedded in your learning management system so that students can monitor their progress throughout the day. In this case, I've taken a sample class list and I've broken the students into teams. You'll notice that the teams are not necessarily alphabetical. I've been very strategic about this so that I've created a heterogeneous group. Similar to if I were doing this in an intervention setting, I might use heterogeneous grouping so that the stronger students can provide support for students that are struggling. In this case, I may have taken students who are having difficulty engaging in the class and put them with students who are more easily connected to the lesson. This will allow them to support one another and to grow as a team. Then I need to go and set up my schedule of games, so to speak. And what this will do is this will mirror the classroom. So what I end up with is different classes throughout the day or throughout the week where different groups are pitted against one another. I've already created an account. So the first time you go to leaguelobster.com, you'll have to set up your account. There is a premium version, but it's not necessary for this exercise. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to my schedules, and I'm going to create a new league. This is the light version because the pro version costs money, but it's not necessary for this activity. How many teams are in my league? So I'm going to go back and see how many groups I've created. In this case, I've created 8 groups. How many games will each team play? Every class period is a game. So if I'm going to do this activity for 2 weeks, then I'm going to go ahead and set up 10 games, okay, in 10 weeks. However, keep in mind that I want each team to be pitted against someone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up 40 games in 10 weeks. What this does is every class there will be 4 games or 4 competitions. Since there are 8 teams, that guarantees that each team will be compared to another team regarding their behavior. That's why I have 40 games in 10 weeks. Once we've done this, the next thing I'll be asked to do is I'll be asked to set up the team names. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to my team names, and I've got team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to go ahead and do this by letter because that's the way I'm going to introduce it to the students. One of the first things I might do is have the students adjust the team name and do it collaboratively to kind of set up a sense of camaraderie. I can go back and edit these team names once that's done. You'll notice that the schedule has set this up so that students are pitted against one another. So for example, in this case, I'm going to have Team F and Team D competing against one another. So at the end of that period, whichever team has scored more points for good behavior will have won that game. You'll notice, however, though, at this point that they're all taking place on one date at one time. I need to change that. So I'm going to take the dates, and I can go in and I can change these dates. I can also go in and change the time slots. Once I've created this schedule, I'm going to click on Publish Schedule. I'm going to publish it for a free version. And then when I go back to the home page, you'll notice that I have an additional league I can look at. In this case, the league that I'm looking for is going to be called New League. I can change this if I'd like to make it a name that's more enticing for the students. Once I click on it, I'm going to go to Share the public schedule. I'm going to click on Copy. then I'm going to go into Schoology, add resource, add link. There's my URL. And what I'm going to call it in this case is Team Progress. And what I'll do is I'll spend some time in class discussing this and discussing which norms will be identified and scored. And that's how to create a league in League Lobster and use it to promote classroom management in a collaborative setting. For more questions, or if you'd like to try this, contact your instructional technologist for more information. Thank you.